What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another episode of the 1% Better Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Mazza. For those of you that are new to my page, I come on here every Wednesday and every Sunday to bring you guys some motivation by reading from John Maxwell's The Daily Reader. Sorry, I had my book backwards. So today is June 7th. Let's go ahead and get into the read. It says, a little extra time. Successful people practice harder and practice longer than unsuccessful people do. Success expert Peter Lowe, who has gleaned success secrets from hundreds of people who are at the top of their profession, says, the most common trait I have found in all successful people is that they have conquered the temptation to give up. Giving a little extra time requires more than just perseverance. It requires patience. The law of process in my book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, says, leadership develops daily, not in a day. That can be said of any talent that we try to cultivate and improve. As you work to give a little extra time to your efforts, it is wise to maintain a longer view of the process of improvement. Such a perspective really helps. Gutzon Borglum, the sculptor who created the memorial to the American presidents at Mount Rushmore, was asked if he considered his work to be perfect. It said he replied, not today. The nose of Washington is an inch too long. It's better that way, though. It will erode to be exactly right in 10,000 years. Now that's patience. Talent is never enough. Give just a little bit more time, effort, and patience to a difficult task or problem today. So this just means understanding that it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? There's no such thing as an overnight success, because if you look at those who, everybody gleams or, looks at and says they're an overnight success, there's really about 5 years of work behind that, and we have to understand that. Like, when I got in the car business, it wasn't like I just, bam, hit the ground running and I was selling 20 cars a month. It didn't work like that at all, right? It took me time, and it took patience and a lot of effort, right? I spent more time there than I did with my family and friends, and I missed a lot, but I wanted to be successful at it, and I understood that it took time and a lot of effort and extra time and extra effort to be as successful as I am right now in the car business today. And that's anything in life, right? Like, I didn't just hit the ground running and all of a sudden got to go play college football. It took years and years of practicing and perfecting my craft, right? Same thing with bodybuilding and everything I do inside the gym. It's not an overnight thing. It takes a lot of time and a lot of patience, especially with that, right? Because, when I first started the 75 hard journey again, I was a fat piece of shit. I looked like crap and it was terrible. And of course, knowing me, I'm going to want the results right away. And we're on day 38. And, I'm currently just inching past that point of where it's finally going to start taking off, and the results will be a little bit more drastic, right? Because Arnold Schwarzenegger said it best, that it takes the time after 6 weeks of putting in constant, consistent effort that you'll finally start to see some drastic results, right? And I'm currently in week 6 of 75 hard. So after this, all that stuff should come into fruition of me putting in that constant, consistent, extra effort, extra time in the gym, also doing an outside workout and eating clean, but it's not just that, right? With 75 hard, it's so much more, right? I should be getting mentally better, spiritually better than that, right? Like, all areas of life should make me a stronger, more well-rounded human being. And I already see that stuff, right? Personally in my own life, right? Because getting up at 4 o'clock every morning and going to the gym, I have to be at work at the earliest at 8:30 in the morning, right? So I'm already up 4.5 hours earlier than I need to be at work. So by the time I get to work, I'm already wide awake. My mental ability is already firing off, and I'm more aware and prepared than most people waking up like I used to an hour before I needed to be at work. So there's no way in hell your brain is fully functioning if you've only been up an hour. It's still waking up. There's still things it's trying to get going so you can process things clearly, right? So my ability to do my job now that I wake up earlier and that much earlier, I'm more effective and I'm more efficient, and I'm better at problem solving now than I was before doing 75 hard again. But it's just understanding that these things take time, and they take patience, and they take a lot of effort, right? A lot of people underestimate, and I read this in the book 10X by Grant Cardone, a lot of people underestimate the true effort it takes to be successful in something you want to do, right? I think it says something like you have to spend 100 hours in one certain area of life to be to be, above average or to be, elite at it, right? You have to put in so many hours to be, damn near perfect at it. And a lot of people underestimate the effort and time it takes to truly do that stuff, right? Like me starting my personal development and fitness coaching program. I literally just started this stuff, right? So there's no way in hell I truly expect it to just all of a sudden, boom, pop off. But I'm going to put in the effort and put in massive action now, so that way later when I look at the results, looking back at when I started, I'll be proud of the effort I put in starting and continue that effort in action moving forward, so that way I never have to worry about moving backwards or staying stagnant, right? Because in business, there's no such thing as staying stagnant or in one place. You're either growing or you're dying. That's the true fact behind it, right? There's no staying in one place. You're either getting better or you're getting worse. And people who think otherwise are the ones who aren't successful, right? They're the ones who are putting in the bare minimum, thinking that they'll just skate by and be okay. But skating by doesn't do anything for you. It doesn't get you any closer to your goals. You have to fucking remember that shit, right? You have to put in massive action. I said this yesterday on my story on Instagram. The life you fucking desire is on the other side of the action you put forward today, right? So the actions we put forward today are going to compound over time if we consistently do them to lead us to the life that we desire. And we can't do that unless we're putting in consistent action, right? Think about it. Effort, patience, and consistency are all of what this read talks about today, right? Consistent, patient action. I mean, it's just constant effort, constantly being patient, and understanding that it's going to take time, taking it day by day, deal by deal, whatever the task is, right? Take it one step at a time. Understand that as long as you're putting one foot in front of the other, you're doing more than fucking 3/4 of America right now. Because everybody is too fucking scared, or they overanalyze shit to even take the first step to do something, right? I gave myself a deadline when I got back from Atlanta visiting my friends and family for my nephew's graduation that said, I told myself I would launch my business a week from the Sunday that I got back, right? So the Sunday that I launched my coaching business, a week prior to that, I gave myself 7 full days to get everything lined up and ready to go, right? Boom. First thing I did was write that onto a piece of paper, write that down on my goals, and then I hit the ground running from there. Registered my business, right? Got all my platforms set up for the actual training apps, set up everything so I can help people with their nutrition, Zoom calls, whatever it is. Everything's already set up so that way when a client or potential client is ready to inquire or to hit me up for my personal development and fitness coaching, everything's a seamless process to get them from deal or lead generation through deal execution for myself. Right? But it took a lot of action, and I have a full-time job at the car dealership doing a lot at my current job as well. So I have to be able to manage both, and I did a very good job. I'm very proud of that, right? But now we're already back at square zero where it's like, okay, we did what we said we're going to do. Now we have to set goals for the first 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days to understand where we're at and where we're trying to be, right? So I wrote down those goals already, and I'm doing those things every single day, putting forward that constant effort, that constant action to obtain my goal, right? So just remember that, and you guys will be well off, right? So just do the things we say we're going to do, and understand that if we don't break promises to ourselves, right, then our lives will be so much better, and we'll appreciate ourselves more. Because when you make a promise to yourself, there's no way in hell and you break it, there's no way in hell that shit doesn't gnaw at you every single fucking day. That you said, oh, I'm going to do this today. I'm going to eat cleaner today, right? I'm going to go to the fucking gym today, right? I'm going to read a book today. I'm going to go for a 30-minute walk today. Whatever the fuck you told yourself you're going to do, breaking that promise to yourself is probably the worst action you could ever take. And it's a direct reflection that you're a piece of shit, you're a liar, and your word means nothing, even to your fucking self, right? So just understand that when you make a promise to yourself, stick through that promise and take the action. but understand that it's going to take some time, and you're going to have to be consistent with your effort and put in a little bit of extra time in the beginning, so that way the time that you feel like you're giving later on 5 years down the road is the same amount of time, or maybe even it's more at that time. But you understand it's like you did it for a reason. There's conviction and intention behind that, right? So just remember these things, and we'll be so much better off as entrepreneurs. We'll be better off as human beings, whatever it is, in relationships. Everything takes a little bit of time, and sometimes it takes a lot of time, and it takes a lot of effort. So be prepared for those things, and understand that we're all here trying to figure out one way or more ways to get 1% better. And that's what I'm here for, is to help you guys do that. But that's all I got for today's read. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you crush the rest of this week and have a great weekend. And all the things that you're looking to do, just go start putting that effort in and action in today to go ahead and do it. And understand that you have the power to do anything you want to do. And just remember to be patient and stay consistent, and it'll all come into fruition and be reality soon enough. You guys have a great rest of your Wednesday, rest of your week. I'll talk to you guys on Sunday.